episode of Tales of Edeah. I hope you guys are excited as I am because, well, this might be the last episode. We don't know. But that's true every time. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any time, and we're going to go straight into recapping and then have a bit of a special treat for everyone. So, without further ado, location unknown, day and month unknown, year unknown. The only memory that you have is of a dark, spider-webbed cave. Your friends were beside you, and someone named the Spider spoke to you and offered you a simple choice. Die now, or meet with the enigmatic master who seemed to be behind both the spider and the rose. She approached each of you, her beautiful, chiseled face an inscrutable mystery, and laid a hand lovingly against your face. Something pulled at you, the very things that make you, you. And it drew you away into a faraway place. Some of you toyed with resisting, others simply gave in. But one by one, your vision turned to pure white, and each of you was whisked away. Now, I'm going to move each of you, one after the other, into a private audio channel with me. The rest of you, like I said, are free to watch or discuss amongst yourselves, so don't feel like you can't watch the stream. Just keep in mind that whatever you learn is information that your character has no access to. In any case, right now, I would like to begin with Tani, so I'm going to move you, Kira.
Before you guys go,
sure.
Kevin? The
overlay.
Big
positions.
overlay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Gosh darn it. One moment. Let me fix that before I move. Well, actually, I'll fix it in a second. Because we have a different one for this. So, there's our transition. And now I'm going to move us into the other audio channel, and we'll fix the other part later. So, hi, Kira. I hope you can still hear me.
I can.
All right, cool. So, Tani, as the white from your vision fades away to endless dark nothingness, you almost feel the welcome comfort of deep sleep envelop you. For a moment, you are at peace, before you feel a tug behind your navel, which it may relieve you to think of that you still have one in this strange place. But that tug quickly turns to gravity. You become aware that you're falling, and though the darkness does not change, it makes way for something else. You look down, and you see a glittering of thin, faint, glimmering lights, little specks painted against the darkness, in the direction that seems to be downwards. They're reminiscent of stars, but you've never seen stars approaching you this quickly, and you soon realize that you're falling into that collection of strange lights. It only takes a few more moments before you're among them, and you feel a sharp cut somewhere on your body, and then another. You begin to avoid them, and you look around and you see dark droplets trailing from the edge of one of these lights, which are not lights at all, but rather seem to resemble broken pieces of glass or mirrors, reflecting things in them that are not there. Yet as you become aware of them, you begin to slow down, and you realize that you are drifting aimlessly rather than falling among this vast collection of thousands upon thousands of little shards of mirror. Some are only as large as your palm, others as big as doorways, each emitting its own light, each seemingly a little window into unfamiliar worlds, until you look into one, and the world is not that unfamiliar at all. Your first glimpse at the familiar is a vision of the Stormcrow Tavern. Looking in, you see Finn's solid form, with one arm wrapped around your shoulder, in an otherwise empty tavern, and you see yourself clutching your head and having it bowed before the hearth. Those were the early days, when sometimes things just seemed incredibly bleak and empty. In the void, you shift your body without thinking, and you catch glimpses of other moments in your life. Some familiar, some forgotten, and some entirely alien. You see yourself as a child playing on a grass lawn at the base of a massive tower monastery. You see yourself fleeing the ravages of a war with friends, half of whom you don't recognize. You see your friend Kor protecting you and the others as you flee into Postizia. You see yourself in black robes with a claw mark symbol on the back, standing in a circle with 4 others. You see a castle on a mountainside, seemingly abandoned, yet also distantly a train of horses and people approaching through thick snow. Then you see a secret meeting between you and a man that you don't know, and you feel afraid. And then finally, you see 3 newly minted freelancers descending into a crypt beneath a town called Ashheart. By now, you've stopped falling, and you slowly find your footing on something. Muddy earth? A hill. The glass shards all around you begin to connect to one another, forming a dome, and the disparate images begin to blend together, and a vision of the world around you grows into reality. As the last specks of darkness are blotted out by the shards filling their place, you feel the inexorable pull of gravity further pulling you into the ground until everything feels completely solid. It takes you a moment before you begin to hear sounds, the wind blowing in the tall grass on the hill, and distantly the sound of civilization, and you look down on a small port town at the base of the hill. There are seagulls singing their song in the distance, and you remember that you were cold very recently, but you don't feel cold now, and instead a warm summer breeze envelops you. You recognize where you are. A small port town on the southern edge of the mid-sea called Vale Port, which you passed through once before. Then you hear a voice to your left. "Hello, Tani. I am the master that Edeah spoke of, but to you, I will be Bekor. That is Bekor. Just R. Standing beside you is a person. Their hair verges on gray, but is still light brown. And their features are impossible to place, yet very chiseled. They seem like an old and wise individual, such as you might find in smaller rural communities. They are entirely wrapped in dark brown robes, which accentuate a bony and almost malnourished figure. And it looks sideways at you, smiling. This is the first time that you can respond.
Are you from my past? Are you actually here? Is this a real place?
This place is real. I am not from your past, but I may be from your future. It would depend on the choices that you make here today. I am sorry for the way in which we had to meet. Unfortunately, those that I associate with are less than gentle in their methods. But in my position, I am both master and servant to those who aid me. They look
Are
down.
you the SR? Am I talking to the person?
The figure smiles, mysteriously, and they say, "No. The rose is one of my associates. Another blunt instrument that unfortunately must be used for the time being. Now please understand that though I have no intention of hurting you myself, their methods are dangerous. And depending on the outcome and the agreement that we reach here, you may very well be in danger. So consider our meeting carefully. Do you understand me?"
So the order that basically say yes or die came from you?
After a fashion. You have been very impressive, you and your friends, and I had to meet you, especially after you resisted the Rose's attempts to quell your interest. And it seems to me that there is an arrangement to be made here. And I hope that I can be of use to you as you might be of use to me. But it will depend, as I said, on the choices that you and your friends make here today. They pause and just look out over the town, watching, thinking, maybe waiting for you to see if you have any questions or things that you want to get off your chest.
I'll be as honest as I can and say that we've been through similar things before, similar proposals.
Yes.
But what are you? Are you a god, a demigod? What is your big purpose?
Standing there beside you, this diminutive, slightly malnourished looking person looks down at their bony hands, long fingers, just looks them over. You know, that is a good question. It's not a definition that I know. I am. But I am not a god, nor demon nor devil. The closest approximation will be the ones that you have met before. One of you carries something of a would-be patron. You know what I talk of? They raise their hand, and there appears indeed a golden pocket watch in their hand. Perfect, not broken in any way. And they just hold it up. The one who makes these is one such as I, or I such as them. That is the closest definition I can provide.
And do you seek something similar to her? Are you on her side? Are you against her? Are you one other big player?
Unfortunately, she and I are what you might call enemies. At least, adversaries of a sort. Our ideas are simply too conflicting. And as a result, my goals are in direct opposition to hers. Which is unfortunate, because I do not believe that they have ill intent at heart, but the outcome of what they seek will be a detriment to all. At least so I believe. And from the fact that you and your friends have not sworn fealty to her, to this clockmaker, it causes me to believe that perhaps our goals might be aligned instead. You see, where she represents control and a return to the old ways, it has always been my philosophy that the freedom to choose and to move forward into a new path and to let things change as they must is much more preferable and much more conducive to people like yourself, to the mortal people of the world. You need your freedom, and it is that freedom that I seek, even if it is sometimes only to be found in criminal elements. But even in criminals there is something admirable. They resist the known order, and they make their own path. It's that freedom that I want to espouse in everyone. And I want your help.
You speak of a new path and freedom. What sort of new path? Who would humanity, or not humanity, sorry. We're not all humans, but the equivalent.
Yeah.
Who would they follow? Who would be under you? Under somebody else? Under SR? Under Scarlet Rose?
No. The point is to maintain the freedom that you have found since the close, since the gods fall. You find yourselves in a new paradigm, and you're still adjusting, but there are those, such as your clockmaker, who seek to go back to establish the old ways and thus remove choice from the equation to a degree. But now that you have it, I think that you should keep it. And that is my goal. Simply to let things develop as they are, in whatever direction that may be. It is a difficult task, more difficult than you might imagine, but that is my goal. Now, the associations with the rose and figures such as Edeah, that is the spider to you, is unfortunate but necessary for the time being. But I hope to go beyond them and pursue this mission without supporting only one small group of people. You represent the first step in that direction. And make no mistake, I can be of great value to you as well. And as they say this, briefly your vision dims, and while you know that you're still standing on that hill, you get a look at something else. And you see, or you feel rather, a memory of yourself walking down a staircase into what seems to be a cellar. And you see yourself carrying a small, completely white box, closed. And you place the box on a marble altar in this cellar. And in that moment, as you put your hand on it, you know that inside are all the memories that you gave up. And you turn away, and you begin to walk away. But right in that moment, as you're about to get a vision of where this is, everything turns back, and you're back on the hill, looking down on the town. I can help you find out many of the questions that you are asking. I can help you find your way in this world. That is the only thing I want. And I will give you the power to do so, so long as you support me in my cause as well. It does not seem an unfair trade to me, but as I am in favor of free will, it is a choice that you have to make.
Would it have to be unanimous?
No.
And would we work under the rose? Do similar things?
You may have to associate for a time, but I would not ask you to become anything that you are not, or to look past anything that you cannot, only to be practical, and first achieve the goals that we must achieve together before you take action on your personal values.
And would you put thoughts into our minds, make us do actions without us knowing or wanting to?
Of course not. This would be entirely contrary to everything that I have told you so far, and everything that I hope to represent. You will have the freedom to choose everything that you do, and your association with me need not be permanent. But I will grant you many benefits, and together, I believe we will make this world a better place. A safer place. A place where Even people like the clockmaker do not have the power to unmake it.
See, we've been under similar things, as you might know. Considering all the visions you're giving me, I assume it's you. So you know lots of things. So one wanted to be separated entirely from the gods and all those big beings. And another one wanted the old ways. We need to be under gods and under demigods and everything. So you just want to let things happen as it would happen.
That's correct.
I wonder what those tasks that you would ask us to do. If you want things to happen as it were, why would we do things to influence anything?
Because right now, there are forces that will prevent matters from progressing naturally. So in turn, there must be those that steer things back to the way they should be, to prevent someone from moving us back in time, or to prevent someone from closing all the doorways from the outside. Why not let things be and find out? That may be the philosophy, but the reality is, of course, not quite so easy, and that is where our partnership can blossom.
So you're not against this big wave of sun drops that everybody's getting addicted to and using, and
I have no opinion or morality about such matters. Only if such things are used. And it stops to think. It is difficult to put this into words, because my perspective on things is, forgive my arrogance, but vastly greater than yours. Or anyone.
I've heard that before too.
Well, take it not as a personal insult, but rather that you are a part of this world, but I still have one foot outside of it. And so I see things in manners that you cannot. But no, I have no interest in influencing the daily goings-on of this world you are a part of. I only wish for things to remain as they are, to stop anyone, clockmaker, aboleth, or otherwise, from achieving their goals.
Okay. One of my last questions is, the biggest ones maybe, is you say it doesn't have to be unanimous.
Correct.
Somebody could say yes, somebody could say no. But would that mean that our group would be separated suddenly? That I would have to go my own way, or somebody else? And maybe that's not something that I would want. So if you would accept this answer, this mixed answer that I'm going to give you. If the group, the majority says yes, if all say yes, I'll join as well. But if someone says no, I don't wish to be separated from my group. They're my friends. They're my most important people. I don't want to work against them.
Calm down. I have no intention of separating you from anyone, or forcing you down any path. You are free to accept on your own terms, and handle your group as you wish. I will not force you to tell them what you have chosen. And if some or all of them choose not to throw their lot in with me and you do, that does not prevent you from making a difference in this world on my behalf. It may make things more complicated for you, but that is your life, and you must deal with it as you see fit.
And if I were to change my mind later on, or decide that these tasks that you would appoint me are too big, or that I don't agree with, what would happen? Would I die as I would die right now if I say no?
I would be both surprised and disappointed, But no, I will not punish you for exercising your free will.
Maybe you know this already, maybe you don't. That's why I don't feel the need to lie or change my story. But I was kind of inclined to say yes to one of the others, not the clockmaker per se. I didn't like that. But I'm impartial to gods myself. I never understood the big spiritual things in my monastery, and I wish I would, and maybe someday I'll investigate more. But I don't have particular what's the word? Affiliarities? That's me
Affiliations?
stumbling.
It's
Affiliations.
okay.
That's it. Okay, so affiliations. So, what would the worst that could happen if I were to say yes? How would it be different than my impartiality already?
Well,
Maybe.
clearly, if you agree to work with me, I will tell you to achieve some goals. I have not planned anything yet because all of this depends on your agreement to cooperate, but in due time there will be moments when I require service. You will complete this service with my help, and in such a way we will make this world better. This may be anything from preventing someone from acquiring a magical item to rescuing someone from a dangerous place, to anything else that may become relevant to us. In exchange, I will support you in several ways. I will make you stronger or better at something that you desire. DM note, you get to choose a feat. And I will grant you the power to call on me on occasion. And it will let you, through the use of my power, destroy any evil that you find. Adherence to this cult from your past, or even, if you find her, the Dragon Queen herself. It is a difficult power to use, so you cannot use it frequently, but you will have that power and the freedom to choose to use it as you will.
She doesn't want to admit it to this being, but her eyes slightly lights up at that possibility. Because
Okay.
she does have something against the cult. She does
Okay.
harbor some resent.
Okay.
And would we have a time limit for these small tasks? Everything would be less complicated if everybody says yes as well. I really hope so.
Time limits would depend on the task itself. These things are impossible to predict. If you must rescue someone, then they are probably in danger. If you must acquire an item, perhaps you have more time. I will inform you and provide you as much information as I am able. And I will support you in your own journeys.
The big thing is that I don't wish to sneak away from my group or do something in secret. Something happened with Barnack, the dwarf, that made us believe that he was in danger and we did some weird things. I don't want to do that ever again. So, the proposal does sound nice, to be honest, and maybe it'll help me remember who I was and become myself again, and maybe even learn my previous name, even. Because apparently my name that I have now isn't my real one. So I'm a bit hesitant. That's a big word, but
I understand.
I am inclined, sort of, to say. Sort of.
Well, you have a little time to think. Time here, and they look around. And as they look around, and maybe you do too, you do notice that despite, everything looking like normal reality, sometimes you can just see the outline of a sliver of glass still, as if you are actually within a dome onto which the environment is projected. And they say, you may consider, and I will return when you're ready.
And I wouldn't ever want to be a petal under the rose. Nor my friends. I can already tell.
This I would not ask of you. If you chose it willingly, I will not stop you, but I will not ask it of you, or demand. Have no fear. And they turn to you, and they actually extend a hand briefly, but more not like shaking a hand for a business deal, but just to take yours briefly and just hold it in their own. Do you accept?
I do.
So they
Just to see if it's cold or
okay.
nothing. Or...
It is completely like environment temperature. So they just hold it, and it feels very weird to have literally no specific feeling to it, except that it's very bony and knuckly. And they hold onto your hand and look into your eyes, and they say, well, Danny, I hope that you will choose wisely. And then whoop, you blink, and they're gone. So,
am I still in the same place, or?
You are still in the same place, and you have time to think on that hill. And in the meantime, we're going to switch over to the next person. So I'm going to move you back to the main chat and move over to the next person. Hello, Milosh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Alright, let me move you up on the stream. There we go. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello. We are worried.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It is it's a bit of an odd situation. But in any case, let me tell you what happens. So, as the white from your vision fades away to endless dark nothingness, you almost feel the comfort of deep sleep envelop you. For a moment, you're at peace, before you feel gravity pulling you downwards. You realize that you're falling, and though the darkness does not change, it makes way for something more. You look down, and you see a glittering of thin, faint, glimmering lights, and within moments, you are among them. Reminiscent first of stars, you quickly realize that they are glimpses into other worlds. This strange collection of lights is not lights at all, but shards of mirrors that float in nothingness, amongst which you first fall quickly and then slow down. And seeing into them, you see a myriad of different worlds, different events and different happenings that don't look familiar to you, until one does. And your first glimpse of something familiar is a vision of a festival in Watchhold from when you were young. You see yourself, still a child, in the crowd, dancing to the music alongside your father and grandfather and mother and sister. You scarcely understood it then, but this was one of the first celebrations of a year without incidents from the God's Fall. You shift slightly within this void, and you catch glimpses of other moments in your life, some familiar, some forgotten, and some that you wish you didn't need to see again. First, you see yourself as a child, huddled up with your mother and your father, your sister still a baby, in a magically warded cellar that shakes as the very foundation of the world around you groans in pain from the God's Fall. Then you see yourself on the deck of your grandfather's ship, the Merryman, still only a child, standing beside him as he explains to you the basics of shipfaring. You see yourself weeping on the shore of an island while a fiery rowboat dissipates your grandfather's remains into the air and into the sea. You see yourself practicing the bow and arrow in the communal square near your home, your sister mocking you with her friends. You see yourself on your father's ship, now an adolescent dwarf, able to carry his weight, even if just barely. There's the first meeting with Jean-Jacques, a windmaker aboard your ship, and you're reminded of the natural disdain that you two had for each other, just in the beginning. You turn and you twirl, and you see other glimpses of the past more swiftly. Arguments with your father, secret practice with the bow and arrow, the day you chose to go to the freelancers and abandon your father's ship, and the day you descended upon the town of Ashhart and walked away forever changed. You realize that by now you've stopped falling. You feel a wooden deck beneath your feet, swaying slightly. The glass shards all around you begin to connect to one another, forming a dome, and the disparate images begin to blend together, and the vision of the world grows into reality. As the last specks of darkness are blotted out by shards filling their place, you begin to hear sounds, the crashing of the waves against the bow of a ship, the voices of familiar sailors, sometimes piping up from above in the sails, shouting at their fellows. You look down over the length of the Merryman, your grandfather's ship, and see it in full working condition, sailing an unknown stretch of the mid-sea. You hear a voice from behind you, and someone steps up beside you. "Hello, Barnack. I am the master that Gaeta spoke of. But to you, I will be a Bekor." That is Bekor. Standing beside you is a person, their hair verging on grey, but still light brown, and their features impossible to gauge. They seem like an old and wise individual, such as you might find in smaller rural communities. They are entirely wrapped in dark brown robes, which accentuate a bony and almost malnourished figure. They look at you curiously.
How do they look apart from? We are on the Merryman, right?
Yeah.
So do they look? Do they have like the a pirate's outfit?
No, completely just the same simple brown robes.
Okay.
And by the way, slightly longer hair, the brownish hair. But overall, yeah, just like a very kind of out of place here because of being on the ship.
Them.
No, not at all.
I look around, see. Good evening.
Hello, Barnack.
The Lady Spider said that we would be talking to the master.
Yes.
I do not believe I was expecting this.
Yes, I am sorry. I am sorry for the methods that have brought you here.
Oh,
But-
I don't mean the methods. I just meant I was expecting a different master. Doesn't matter. Am I dead?
You are not dead. You are currently both on this ship and in the cavern where you were left.
And this is the way to talk to the master.
This
Master.
This is the way to speak with me. That is correct.
And you said your name would be Bekor for me.
Yes.
May I ask, would your name be the same for everyone else?
To you and your friends, I will be who I am, Bekor. To the Scarlet Rose, whom you referred to earlier, I am the master.
Hold on. The Scarlet Rose, you are their master.
Yes.
And is the Scarlet Rose the Lady Spider thingy?
No.
Oh, so we haven't actually talked to the Scarlet Rose yet. So we're skipping that.
If you wish, you are free to pursue them.
No, we mean we are skipping that. Instead of talking to someone that's not in charge, we are getting to talk to someone that is in charge.
It depends on what you wish them to be in charge of. The rose and the spider support me because they are the only tools that I have available to use. They are unfortunate in some ways, which means also that I wish to warn you that I cannot rescind their threats, depending on your choices here, even if I would not have made them in such a way.
Mr. Baker? Is that
Baker will do fine.
Baker? I will cut straight to the point, and that is, why are we being targeted ourselves? The 3, 4, 5 of us, well, 6 if we count Myra now. And am I talking to someone that is not from my surroundings?
They think for a moment and smile. A strange expression on this odd face. And they say, "That is who you are talking to. Someone that you don't know. As for why you are targeted, I believe that it began when you acquired the item that you have carried around so secretly for the past months."
See. Are you Lord of the Fort?
Nothing so lowly for me. But
Slowly?
the Lord of the Fourth comes from the Nine Hells. But I am no demon or devil. And the one that you speak of was associated with Epirata. But she herself was torn between two worlds. When she died,
Lord.
yes. They think for a moment. Yes, I will reveal this to you. Epirata was wrapped up in a contract with the devil. That is where they got their powers, and they sought me out in hopes of nullifying that contract. But unfortunately, they died before I achieved sufficient power to make this happen.
I see. So, leaving that Lord of the Fort aside then, you now said you are trying to achieve more power. Or rather, you weren't powerful enough to help Epirata back then.
Yes, think rather not in terms of the pursuit of more power, but in freeing my own. I am currently still bound in many ways that stifle my potential. And the Rose and its associates, and hopefully you yourselves, are involved in freeing me from these shackles.
Barnack will actually stop for a moment
Mhm.
to think, even though he doesn't do that often. Are you, Baker, associated with those chains, links?
No. That is another faction. One that is troublesome, but not my main concern.
But not on the same side as you.
No.
Right, I forgot. You beings, higher beings, don't choose sides. You have your own sides. Okay, and if I may, why were you imprisoned then? Who imprisoned you? do you... I don't really know what's going on, apart from trying to stay alive in a very weird city that has too many people, too many places, and not enough good ale, or wine, or whiskey. Whiskey is fine, actually. I will not say anything about whiskey here. So, I have already said no to a few beings of higher power. I still hold one very dear, though. So, my question is, are you in any way associated with or against this one being of power that I still believe in?
Well, unfortunately, I've not had the pleasure of meeting them. But I believe that we would not be inherently opposed to one another. You asked me why I was shackled, how I was shackled. Once upon a time, I walked free upon this world, and I inspired people to go their own way, not to scrape down or bow down before any gods or demons or devils or any other creatures that would hold dominion over them that they have no right to. And for that, I was placed in a box and shut away. Because as it turns out, those in power are not fond of those who would resist them.
I've heard this story before, though.
That is possible. I am not alone in this world.
Are you a part snake squid?
They look slightly perplexed. You've managed to put a perplexed expression on this impossible being, and then shake their head. No.
Okay. Because someone that's snake squid talked about similar things. Okay. Bakor.
That is correct.
So what do you ask of me then?
Right now, I ask only for your promise to help. In exchange for that promise, I will help you as well. That is the nature of the relationship that I would like to have with you. In your case, and for a moment, like as they begin talking, you see a vision appear before your eyes. And it's strange because it's of the ship as well, but the whole ship just kind of shifts, and for a moment you're back on that day when you came out of the cabin, and your grandfather had died, and there were 2 freelancers at least on the deck, one of which you still recognize and remember as Lenoria. But then the vision changes entirely, like smoke being blown away, and the sound of waves crashing stops, and instead you see Lenoria again, but with several other, what seem to be freelancers, or at least people in her line of work as well, sitting around a table in what seems to be a castle, but the castle is built in an unfamiliar style.
Not like Postizia.
Not
like,
Pastitian style or anything like that.
Mhm.
And you see them sitting around talking about something, but the sound of what they're saying is unintelligible. So unfortunately you can't overhear what they're planning or what they're working on. But right as you're about to go over and walk to see out the window to maybe see if there's something you can recognize, the vision fades. You feel the sway of the deck again, and you're back on the Merry Man. And you realize that Bakor is speaking again, and they say, I know that you seek truth, Barnak. Your own truth, but also for others. It is how you make this world better. After a fashion, I do the same. I want to make sure that the people of this world can find their truth, and follow it wherever it may lead. But to do that, first we must root out the corruption, that is, those who seek to control others. Unfortunately, even your clockmaker is one of them. And they make no pretense of having, knowledge of this, otherwise. Unfortunately, that means that a conflict is inevitable. And in fact, in our own way, she and I are adversaries that cannot avoid each other forever. And I hope that you understand I do not oppose them out of some vicious need for power myself, nor do I believe that they have ill-intent at heart. But I believe that their goals are misguided, and that in the long run, their desire to return the world to the way it once was will be a detriment to the people, because it will take away your power to choose in this new world. It will take away your power to make this new world whatever you want it to be, and instead return you to a paradigm in which you still have freedom, but to a far lesser degree. This is what I wish for your help with. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt for a moment. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, you guys. That's 10 gifted subs? Man, you are insane. Sorry, that's like 10.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Okay.
Thanks, Mads.
Thank you. Anyway, yeah, that's what they want your help with.
Well, do you know who Cyrak is?
So as a dungeon master, I'm currently blanking on the name.
Wait,
Cyrak?
maybe I'm mispronouncing it. Hold on. Contract with Basil. Hold on. God of Murder.
Oh, Cyric.
Cyric.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's just, it's Cyric. That got me.
Yeah.
They frowned for a moment. Yes. Another problem. One that we may need to deal with in time. But I am not opposed to that.
Okay. And you said you offer truth. Well, you could help with.
I hope to provide you the tools to find it, yes.
Then I have a question that I've asked many of my friends, that I've asked many of my enemies, and that is, how many innocent people will die for this?
That will be entirely in your hands. I do not dictate the methods which you employ, only the goals which I hope that you will achieve. And those goals will not be kill 1,000 innocents. This brings me
Or
no
kill a
benefit.
single one.
What would be the purpose of killing an innocent? If they have done no wrong, then what benefits do we stand to gain from it? I do not see this. If you can imagine a way that is within the realm of reality, perhaps I will debate that with you. But I have no plans of asking anything unreasonable of you. Difficult things, yes. They will be difficult challenges in the way. But I believe that you are capable of overcoming these, because you have overcome many difficult challenges before speaking with me already. I have watched.
And when I said Lord of the Fort, you said you are not interested in those smaller things than you. Does that mean that, as you said, you are on the playing field of the clockmaker, or something even stronger?
You could consider the clockmaker and I equals, after a fashion.
I see. Well, one of your sentences is that I would be the one to choose if innocents will die. And that is the first time I'm getting a choice. But you have to understand I will not go against my friends. So I would like to know the truth though.
I will say this. Whatever you choose, I will not cause you to go against anything that you stand for. In fact, I will not force you in any direction, except towards the goals that I hope you and I will achieve together. If your friends choose not to work with me, and they can survive what awaits outside, then I will not oppose your working with them, or not telling them, or handling the situation in any manner that you wish.
I was about to ask that. If they do not cooperate and go against whatever is outside, am I still free to help them? Because you said that the only two people you can bank on at the moment are the Spider and Scarlet Rose. And you're not quite comfortable with either.
Let me put it this way. In those relationships, due to circumstance, I am both master and servant in my own way. I can implore and guide them, but only insofar that they act within the way that they would always act, but in the direction that I wish them to. To do any more would be to take away their freedom to choose.
I see.
And that is not within my nature. I have asked them to ensure that we could speak, and unfortunately it has taken the form of this ultimatum. That was not my choice, but it is now on the table, and it is possibly not within my power to take away.
As a sort of a leader, even though that's still a running joke, but as sort of a leader, I do understand not having power to do something sometimes.
It is unfortunate, but
I will then say this. This is probably the only time I'm offered a choice where my freedom isn't impacted. First time, it was me not asking questions, and that is not who I am. Second time, it was me not caring for innocence, and that is not who I am. So, you have also mentioned someone I revere, someone I worship, not to be your enemy. I believe we can see eye to eye, but that will depend on your next two choices. And one of them will be the way I wake up again. If I have woken up with something missing or a friend dead, I don't think I would be able to go over that and forget that. But if we wake up as we did, I believe I could help you. And in return, I would ask for your help to uncover the truth as well.
they think, looking out over the water, and in the distance you can now see just a vague outline of land approaching. And you start to get the feeling that this conversation is coming to an end. But they look over the water and allow the silence to kind of linger. The voices of the sailors in the background, strangely muted now, while you two are talking. To my knowledge, you will not be harmed or stolen from until you awaken and your choice is made known. But you will understand that I can only speak with you here, which means that you must make your choice here.
Yeah, that is what I said. If I believe that if you have convinced me enough to say yes, but I will not stand aside and let your other two choices deal with us as they please.
Let me put it this way. I require more versatile tools than a set of criminals that, to a degree, abuse my power to enrich themselves. If you choose to stand with me, but eliminate them, it may be a price I am willing to pay. But understand also that it may make your own journey more difficult in the future.
Of course.
The rest is once again your choice.
That was my first request, and the second one is much easier for you because you can do it here. And that is, may I get your word or your promise? I would rather have your promise that I will not be asked to go against my own ideals, even if it means going against your plan. And my ideals are quite simple. Protect those that cannot protect themselves, help those that cannot help themselves, and make the world a better place.
I do not foresee that these two should clash. But in the event that you do forsake me entirely, it will mean the end of our cooperation and the end of any benefits or powers that I am able to grant you at the time.
I understand. How do I reach you, though, if I need?
Once we make our bargain, we will be connected, and you will be able to speak with me after the manner that one speaks to the divine, even if I am not.
I understand. You said a box. You are in a box.
You see the expression just kind of turns a little darker.
Physical box? Is it like made of carton, paper? Can I find the box and open it?
You can both find it and you cannot. It is, for the time being, beyond your understanding. But suffice to say that it must be broken in due time. Now, this is a very impactful decision. I will leave you to think for a little while.
Yes.
They place a hand on your shoulder for a moment and look down. Expression inscrutable. And then you blink and they disappear.
That yes was, by the way, me saying yes to them. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, it was like, yes, I accept.
Okay. That was probably not very clear to them. Or to anyone.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah.
It was like, yes, I will go. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still have some time. Like you say it and then they disappear and it's like, is it done now? But you realize you probably have some time to still think it over.
I said yes. I don't think they understand my language.
Alright, well, I'm going to move you back to the main group and move in the next person, which is going to be, let me see real quick. Yeah, it's going to be Myra. Alright, and I'm just going to hold on a sec. Actually, I'll move in with you. I'll move up with you for a second. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm just checking in while my dogs are barking. How are you guys doing?
Terrible, because Milosh's face right there at the end was super concerning, so
Yeah.
we're very concerned about what's going on.
Only mild terror.
Okay,
Mild.
okay. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the dogs to go so we can jump in with the next one, which is going to be Myra. So I hope that you're
No.
excited.
I've only been part of this group for like an hour.
You should just keep saying that, keep saying that to the weird paranormal entity that's trying to speak with you. And tell them, like, hey, I've only worked here for like half a day, so like I don't know, but could I go?
Yeah, can I catch a break? Can I do some stuff?
Exactly. All right. I'm gonna move down. Hopefully they're gone. And Chansey, you're coming with me. Hi.
Hi.
So, Myra. As the white from your vision fades away to an endless, dark nothingness, you can almost feel the welcome comfort of deep sleep envelop you. For a short moment, you're at peace, before you feel the pull of gravity, and you realize that you are falling very, very quickly. Yet the endless darkness around you does not change. You have no idea how far down it goes, until you look and you see a sheet of glittering thin lights, little specks painted against the darkness in the direction that seems to be down. They're reminiscent of stars, but you hope that stars never race at you with the speed that these seem to be doing. And it only takes a few more moments before you are amongst them. You feel a sharp cut on the side of your face, and you just dodge out of the way of another of these lights. And you realize that they're not lights at all, but instead little glass shards of mirror that reflect situations that are not shown anywhere around you. And you realize that rather than falling as quickly as you were, you start to slow down. And amongst this vast collection of thousands upon thousands of little mirror shards, some only as large as your palm, others as large as doorways, you find a myriad of scenes that are not familiar to you, until one of them is. And the scene that is familiar to you is one that is a painful memory. You see some of your former friends in a terrible fight. Andor thrown across the room by the charging creature of darkness. You shouting incantations from the corner. Moore and Kieran protecting each other. Sasha already unconscious and Jada trying to awaken her. And Kali protecting them. You almost want to beg for the vision to fade, and mercifully, the gentle movement that is still a part of you carries you past that shard. Through the others, however, you glimpse other painful images of the past. You see there your mother in those dark robes, leaving you with several other children in a locked house while they descend into a cellar. You see Sadie and Kane sneaking in with you to the first meeting that you ever witnessed. You see yourself arguing with your mother as you grow older, and the punishments that brought. You see yourself walking away from that house and family. You see the first glimpse of Watch Hold, and remember the way your heart almost beat out of your chest. You see glimpses of missions that you went on, of gold aplenty that you made, and the luxury that it brought you. And then, painfully, you see a graveyard, in which the remains of your dead friend should be, but are not, because they were never recovered, or even recognized as dead, and the gravestones there were handmade by you after their passing. You see that tiny dark room in which you hid for weeks before finding the courage to step out again. And as you stare into that dark, empty, and featureless chamber, you realize that you've begun to stand on something. Water falls across your boots and soaks them. And the glass shards all around you begin to connect to one another, forming a dome. And the different images begin to blend together, and a vision of the world around you grows into reality. And as the last specks of darkness are blotted out by shards filling their place, you feel gravity take hold fully. You're looking out across the harbor of Postizia, and in the distance stands that terrible tower which you've avoided looking at every time that you've gone to the harbor recently. And from your left, you hear a calm, quiet voice saying, "Hello, Myra. I am the master that Gaeta spoke to you of. But to you, I will simply be Bekor. That is Bekor. And you see the face of the person that stands beside you, and they look elderly. Their hair barely not grey, still light brown, about shoulder length. Their features very chiseled but hard to place. They seem like an old and wise individual. Maybe a village wise man or woman, you're not sure. And they're entirely wrapped in dark brown robes that accentuate a bony and malnourished figure. And they look at you with pity.
Hello?
Hello, Myra. I am sorry for what you have suffered.
I mean, a lot of people have suffered, so...
Yes, but you have suffered under the ministrations of a very particular kind of person, have you not?
I mean, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
You see them look at the place on your shoulder or arm where you have the remnants of what you have. You, I think, are here for a reason. It was not my plan that you should be included amongst these, but perhaps it is meant to be in a way.
I did just join them this morning, so I mean...
Yes.
Slightly bad luck among me? I don't know.
Perhaps. But you have suffered the most from this clockmaker. And they conjure up like a little golden pocket watch that you've seen, I think, in glimpses from the Ashen Hearts. I think Jean-Jacques carries one. But not clearly up close. But they just hold it up as a sort of symbol of the clockmaker. And I believe that your pain makes you excellently suited to work together with me, because I think that we can undo a great part of it in due time.
Can just stare for a second to contemplate what he says. Can I insight check him to see if I think he can actually undo anything?
Go for it. Make an insight check.
I don't think it's very good. Maybe it is. Forgot my insight's actually good. 17.
17. Okay, one moment.
Also, am I the first roll?
Yes. Okay.
Just none of these people.
So you look up at this person who, despite you being human and they seeming to be human, or maybe some elvish blood in there as well, are definitely taller than you. And the first thing that you read is that their sympathy seems very genuine. They're like, if you could, if you're when people say, like, my heart breaks for you, this is literally what's happening right there. They look incredibly sympathetic towards you, maybe because they've seen more of what's happened to you than you realize. As far as whether they have the power to undo it, they seem to believe it for sure. That doesn't mean that you have to believe it, but they definitely seem to be convinced that they are able to do this.
Okay. Well, I know we were told we had to come talk to you or, die where we are. And
Yes.
I don't know if we were given an option of whether or not we had to agree or not.
You are free to disagree. And even in that case, I will attempt to dissuade the spider from her course. But unfortunately, I am both master and servant to them. I am master because they pursue the goals that we set together, but servant because I do not command or control them any more than anyone should be. They have free will, and I will not take it away from them, not even to save lives.
I mean, I get it, I guess. So what exactly?
Listen, Myra, I will be frank with you. The clockmaker is my adversary. They wish for something in this world that is the antithesis of what I can stomach. Now they pursue their goals relentlessly, and so we must do the same. But I need better tools than a set of criminals, even if it is in one of the greatest cities of the world. I think that you are better than they, so I want your help. And my only goals are to stop anyone, especially the clockmaker, from changing the world in a way that it shouldn't be. They wish to turn back time. Do you know this? The ones who gave you that, and they point to the arm.
I kind of unconsciously kind of rub my arm under my shoulder padding.
The ones who gave you that, and the one who created that technology. They want to go all the way back before the gods fall, before anything had changed, just because they are afraid of what things might become now, of the potential that your kind, mortals, have within them. Kira, you're unmuted on Zoom, just FYI.
Honey, laughing.
Yeah, that was very sudden. Okay. Anyway, they're explaining this to you. And they say again, so this is what I require your help with. I do not know what shape that help will take yet, but there are many things that require fixing. And I think that the matters that you encountered in the past year are near the top of that list. Because these rogue individuals that are experimenting with this technology may become the greatest threat that the world has yet seen. The potential in that power is endless. And I wish to stop them. And I wish to help you stop them. And that is what I am offering you. My help in that.
Do I have all my stuff on me?
Pretty much. Yeah, you're pretty much in your whole gear now that things have solidified.
I kind of like shuffle around in uneasiness for a moment, kind of like grasp my holy symbol, kind of like check to make sure the mace is there, and like kind of run my fingers down the seams of the cloak, remembering my friends, and then these objects were originally theirs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, kind of swallow hard, and I I don't want anything else like this in motion to my shoulder to happen to anyone else. If I can
Oh
stop
no,
the
not at all.
I can stop the clock.
Crying.
I want to.
Well, that is good, because there are many more. And your vision, briefly, it's like the world around you fades away in a puff of smoke, and something else takes its place. And you're standing at the beginning of a very long hall that goes maybe like 25 feet up as well. And on the right side, there's just one straight wall. And at that wall, maybe every 10 feet or so, is someone chained to the wall. And you see that each of them has a different modification. They have like a network of different cogwheels embedded in their flesh, or they have a metal plate overlaid on part of their arm, and all of them look miserable, and all of them look horrible. And just as you're about to turn and see if there's any sign of where you are, the door begins to open. But right before you get a view outside of that door, the vision fades, and you're back on the docks in Postizia, standing beside Bekor.
Is that a real location or just another vision?
It is a place that is somewhere in your world right now. It's people that we need to free.
Any idea where to even start?
Yes. To you, I will say this without making any bargain, because I believe that you will go there regardless. But you must go back to the prison.
Why did I know that was coming?
It is the starting point for this journey. And if you are lucky, perhaps you can find what remains of your friends. Because if you do, I will grant you the power to bring them back. It will not come easy, and there will be a cost. But you can save them.
I know he has to be stopped. I don't know if I can.
You doubt your ability. I just stare at you for a moment. The only thing that matters is your heart. Place it behind this task, and you will succeed with my help. I will not let you down, so long as you do not let me down. And they kind of smile playfully, but there's definitely sort of edge to that comment, which may be intentional, may also just be unintentional.
I'll do my best. I can't make any promises.
So long as you agree to work with me, I will support you, and I expect that you will support me and my goals whenever possible. I will not ask anything unreasonable of you. And your methods may be of your own choosing. Is that agreeable to you?
I think so. I do have, I think, one more question. The information we had found, I can't remember names now because I forgot to write it down, of going to the other location, the other island.
Solarian Isle?
Yeah, the other one we were talking about going to.
Right.
About the other experiments. Are they connected?
They think for a moment, and you can see that they're not really looking at anything near, but rather at something that you can't see. But where they're looking, you do see a brief, like, kind of shimmering in the air, as if there's the outline of one of these cracked pieces of glass. So you get the impression that maybe they're looking through one that you can't see. And then they look back at you, and they say, I believe so.
Yeah. As long as everyone's still alive and we're out of... No, look around this. I think they were planning on heading there next. At least maybe we can get some more information before we head... Or before I head back. Hopefully with them.
I hope so. Very well. I will leave you to think for a moment still, to make sure of your decision, and then I will return.
I'm definitely not sure, but...
I put a hand on your shoulder, on the other shoulder than the one where, you know, the stuff is, and just squeeze gently, and then, boop, just disappear, leaving you to stand on the docks. And I'm going to move on to the next person. You okay? You doing good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it and I hate it.
All right. Well, I'm moving you up,
Thank you.
and Nicola's coming down. Here we go. Hello, Nicola. How are you doing?
Hello. Good. Kind of, maybe.
Put you on the stream as well. There you go.
Okay.
And, yeah, hi.
Hi.
I hope you're excited.
I am. I do have a confession to make. I ordered food halfway through, thinking, like, 2 people are ahead of me, that it's going to arrive in time, and it hasn't. So if I do have to jump real quick, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I was hoping Bruno would come back as well.
Yeah, me too. But that's okay. Let's see if we can get through it. But yeah, if you do have to go, just like ping, like give me a heads up so I stop talking. All right. As the white from your vision fades away to endless dark nothingness, you can almost feel the comfort of deep sleep envelop you. For a moment you are at peace, before you feel a tug behind your navel, and that tug quickly turns into gravity. You become aware that you are falling, and though the darkness around you does not change, below you it begins to make way for something else. Because below you, you see a glittering of thin, faint, glimmering lights, little specks painted against the darkness. They're reminiscent of stars, but stars don't approach, and you soon realize that you're falling into that collection of strange lights. It only takes you a few moments before you are among them. You manage to dodge out of the way of the nearest one, which you see is not a light at all, but rather a piece of glass, which the edge was about to cut you before you dodged. You dodge another one, and you begin to see that there are not only bits of glass, but bits of mirror that reflect all sorts of different worlds and situations that you don't recognize. Yet as you become aware of them, you begin to slow down, drifting rather than falling, among this vast collection. Some of them are only as large as your palm, others as big as doorways or windows. Each emits its own light, and though most of them are unfamiliar, you finally see one that is not. Your first glimpse of something familiar is a vision of you and your siblings, still very young, sitting around the large table in your home in North Dyke. It was one of the rare occasions where Mother made time to educate you directly. And you remember well the words that she spoke about responsibility, obligation, and loyalty. About one family and one vision. Then your body shifts almost on its own, and you glimpse another moment in time through the shards that surround you. You see there the first time that you met Esme, and the way that you felt compelled to impress her, even though your adolescent self didn't understand why. You see the first time that you cast magic without knowing how or why, and you blew one of your nannies right off her feet while you were having a tantrum as a child. You see the first mission that you went on as a young adult, seeking information on behalf of the family. And nearby that, you see a vision of your mother scolding you when inevitably you'd made a mistake and caused her deep embarrassment that year. You see yourself studying ever harder, shaping yourself into the perfect tool for the family. And you see yourself descending again into that dark cavern which held the hidden crypt and the spirit that pleaded with you for aid. You see the one time in your life that your mother grew emotional, the day on which you learned that Edeah had been shot and killed at the Parliament. And finally, you see your own capture in Watchhold, and the awful struggle to free yourself before stumbling into the arms of the Ashenhearts. By now, you realize that you've stopped falling. You feel solid ground, cobblestones even, beneath your feet. The glass shards all around you begin to connect to one another, forming a dome, and the different images begin to blend together, and a vision of the world grows into reality. Just as the last specks of darkness are being blotted out by shards filling their place, you suddenly feel reality shatter, and the glass dome breaks apart with a terrible noise. The void is back around you, and it becomes complete and cold, and icier than icy wind blows through you and through it, and carries you away towards, eventually, what looks like a mechanical door in the middle of nothing. That door opens, and in the doorway stands a figure, painted against a bright, lighted background. You see a frazzled-looking woman with glasses on, and a stern expression on her face. And as you're being pulled closer, you feel the pocket watch get pulled out from under your shirt and clothes. And you realize that it is the piece itself that is dragging you here. She has her arm out, and when you are before the woman, you are suspended in mid-air, unable to move or even speak. She grabs the pocket watch briefly, and seems to place an additional piece into it, before setting the time on it, starting to turn a dial, arbitrarily first. She presses down on that small dial, and then once, she shows you the clock face. And after pressing down on it, you watch as the time begins to move backwards instead of forwards, very quickly, as if rewinding. Then she makes a show of setting the time again, taps the small dial that she pressed moments ago, and gives you a meaningful look, but doesn't press it again. Instead, she tucks the pocket watch under your clothes and lets go. And though you're still unable to move, you feel yourself pulled back at an even greater speed than before, and your knees hurt from the way that you suddenly have weight again, as you find yourself standing again on those cobblestones, and the dome of glass reshapes around you, and the world forms around you. You are standing in the courtyard of the Solidariat, and a crowd is gathered, a familiar crowd. Though you cannot see her, there, at the heart of the crowd, lies the body of the newly dead Edeah, a vision that you've had before. A glance around reveals no lingering, red-headed figures in the archway nearby. Instead, a calm voice rises from the direction that you weren't looking in. Hello, Jean-Jacques. I am the master that Kieta spoke of. To you, I will be Bekor. That is B-E-K-O-R. And looking at them, you see a very odd type of person to find here in Postizia. Their hair verging on grey, but still light brown. Their features are impossible to place, but very chiseled. They seem like an old and wise individual, and they are entirely wrapped in dark brown robes that accentuate a bony and almost malnourished figure. They smile at you, in a sad way, and look over at the crowd. And they say, "It is very interesting to meet you."
Before I say anything,
Okay.
do I feel the weight of the timepiece on my chest?
Yes. It is also cold against your chest, as if it doesn't belong there.
So she pulled me towards her, rewound the clock, pressed the thing, showed me how the time rewinds, wound it up again, tapped it, as in, I imagine, I'm not understanding this as she set it up so that I can use this feature if I were to repeat the same step.
That seems like a
That's okay.
reasonable
Okay.
understanding of the situation.
All right. And how much did the time go back based on what I saw?
It seemed to just keep going, but you don't know how much time will actually rewind if you use it.
Okay. All right. So I look towards this B core, and I say, it is. He said it's
It's
peculiar
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
Interesting to meet you.
Yeah. It is interesting to meet you as well. Especially, I kind of look around in this moment in time.
Yes. Well, they look around. This is more of your choosing than mine, but it is a key moment in your subconscious.
I'm not surprised.
Indeed. Let me ask you something. Would you change this moment if you could, knowing everything that has flowed forth from it? Knowing the way that the world changed after it? Or would you say, what is done is done?
He ponders for a moment. I would not. The only thing that I would change is knowing whom was responsible. Because martyrdom can shape a country as well as a good leader can.
This is true. But the fact that you would not speaks to your quality. I believe that there is a power in accepting things for what they are, in not violating the natural progression of events. It is why I have brought you here, all of you. That is my belief, and it is one that the clockmaker, whose material you carry, is against. It is something that she seeks to violate. I will not play games with you, I will not play coy, I will not lie. I have brought you here because I hope that we can work together to preserve our world, to keep things on their natural path, whatever that may be. I have no interest in an outcome, I have only an interest in preserving its ability to come to that outcome.
You see.
They watch for a moment, and they look at you, and there's a sort of amused smile on their face, which is very, very much an odd expression on this inscrutable older person. You are the most difficult among your group, you know. You are very well protected. I do not understand you as I do the others. But I hope that we may find common ground nonetheless.
Well, I'm always interested to hear out what people have to say, especially those people that can entertain conversations in such interesting ways. And, well, if we were playing a game of dragon chess, you would have me in a very disadvantageous position, so I would love to see what you have to offer.
I can see what you mean. Well, what I have to offer is quite simple. I seek to prevent the success of one such as the Clockmaker, to allow mortal kind to take its own path, to choose its own path. In that process, I hope to be freed myself of the shackles that were once placed upon me for pursuing that very goal. But in all of these matters, I need help. My only help, currently, are the unpleasant individuals that you have either been in contact with or been pursuing. The Rose and the Spider. Now, they are useful, but their methods are undesirable, and I have not the inclination to take away their free will and change that. So rather I seek more advantageous allies, of which you may be one. Now together, I hope that we may pursue goals that ensure mortal kind's ability to choose its own path. And in the meantime, I am quite motivated to aid you in your personal journeys as well. I have boons to grant and powers to provide, which can increase as you come closer to setting me free. So you can see, in working together, we achieve a symbiosis of sorts. But I think that most of all, from what little I understand of you, that you have been a tool for too long, and that there is potential for more. I've seen glimpses of the visions that you were granted. Now, I do not promise to make you a king, but I do promise to set you free.
That is a bold promise to make.
Indeed.
While I am impressed by your power, you have not met my mother.
They actually smile this time.
Yeah.
And incline their head.
Jean-Jacques smiles as well, like I know.
That I have
Paradoxical joke to make.
That I have not, and I would be quite interested to do so someday. But she lacks your potential.
These words that you say, I've hoped to hear for a very long time. From one place or another, recently and in the past. But you see, I am somewhat of a skeptic by nature, I would say. And while I admire the sentiment that you have expressed, I am somewhat suspicious that there is nothing except freedom in this for you. Beings of such immense power, they always have an agenda.
They look
At
around.
least.
Do you see this place around you? It seems like you have access to the whole world, does it not?
It does.
They wave a hand, and you watch the dome doesn't disappear, but it becomes visible again. And you become aware of where the glass dome actually ends, and it becomes more like a projection that's being shown on that dome. And it's quite small, maybe 50 feet across. Now imagine that it is through this cage that you must view the world always. And now imagine that you were placed here for millennia, simply for encouraging mortal kind such as yourself, to pursue their own desires and their own goals, to not be bootlickers and scrape at the feet of gods or others like gods. After a certain span of time, freedom is the only thing that will be on your mind. It has taken me a very long time to even grow powerful enough to communicate with you or anyone in this manner. And still I am caged and chained, and I would be no more with your help. I would say that is a very fair price to pay for my help to you.
It does sound very fair, especially if you deliver on the promises of power. Are you, and I realize this might be a futile question to ask, but are you in any way connected to the being known as Pax?
No. They are. They look genuinely amused, and it's honestly kind of a creepy expression, because it's like kind of patronizing. They are small fish.
I see. Kind of chuckles at the fish moment. He like just realizes that it goes through his mind. He's like, I see. So, what you require from me is a promise of a following, that I will do your bidding and enact your will.
Cooperation. To be give and take. I have no interest in taking from you what I cannot pay for. I will provide you the power and ability that you require, and in return, I will help you pursue your goals, and you will help me pursue mine.
That does seem very enticing. I do find it quite curious that you decided to do this individually. Separate us.
Unfortunately, that is the nature of this power.
I see. The others, they make me softer. They change me for the better, I think, for most people.
It seems that way.
But when I am alone, things are different. I think about the clock on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go to scratch on my neck, and would I be able to, if I wanted to, right now, just press in the same manner as the clockmaker did on my chest?
It's a very light touch. In fact, probably in the time that you've had the clock piece and just, it was inactive, but you've just, played around with it and watched it and stuff. It's like one of those things like clicking a pen. It's super easy. Just plop, happens. So even under the robe, you can just press it and it's not a problem.
Don't I? So conflicted. And if I were to say yes, and one of my compatriots said no, will they be dead?
Not according to my wishes. In fact, and you see a sort of troubled expression. I wish it had not come to the ultimatum that you were presented with. But unfortunately, that is the nature of such cohorts for the time being.
Mm.
I hope to convince them that if enough of you acquiesce, to let all of you go. I believe that you are stronger as a unit. But as far as I'm concerned, no matter your choices, all of you will awaken, and at least have a chance to defend yourself if you choose, in a manner that does not agree with the spider.
Mm. Since you said that you do not fully understand me, I would like to make sure that we are on the same page. My goal, my desire, is to make true what Aratia wanted. I want a strong republic, one that is by the people and for the people. I will not stand for a tyrant sitting on a throne, ruling over my people. The Storm King, this vision that I had, was enticing, but I would never want it to go down that route. I would never be the person in the spotlight. And the individuals that you are working for right now, sometimes, in some ways, threaten this idea that I have. And this is a problem for me.
Then it is a problem that you must solve. Perhaps a problem that you can solve, or rather, perhaps two problems that you can solve at once. And for a moment, it's like someone blows away the vision of the world around you, and a new one takes its place. You find yourself standing in a dark corridor underground. You follow someone going through a door into what seems to be quite a lavishly furnished office. And sitting behind that desk sits a figure that you can't quite make the features out of, probably deliberately. But you can see that on the edge of the desk, or rather on the edge of the paper that they're writing on, lies a stamp which has the symbol of a rose and some red ink next to it. And they're currently writing something. And the figure next to you appears suddenly again. And they simply say, unheard by everyone in the room, "What if you are the one sitting there? You could guide it all. Exactly in the right places. You are a realist, at the very least. I think that you recognize this element will always exist. Why not have it under the dominion of one who has the Republic's best interests at heart? This is something we may consider in the long run." And the vision fades, and you're standing back where you were.
I look at him, like, for a long moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then I reach into my pants pocket. And from there, I pull out a coin. It's I don't remember have we done it, because I know that I wanted to. I wanted to go to a blacksmith. I have one of those platinum coins that I have remade with the symbol of Timora on one end and her face on the other, but I can't remember if I've done it or not.
I don't think you told me, but I mean, we can definitely say that you had, because there was time to have it done.
Okay,
in the meantime.
all right. So it's there, so I kind of pass it through my fingers doing that thing.
Yeah.
I flip it.
Okay. So can you write to me, or actually no, we're in private chat. So can you tell me what each side of the outcome means?
Yeah. So heads means I take his deal.
Okay.
Tails means I click the what's it called? The timepiece.
Okay. In that case, before rolling, I would like you to make a charisma saving throw.
Would this be what's it called? Charm?
No.
Would my okay?
No.
I'll just roll it on the charisma saving throw, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm good at those. 16.
Okay.
Not that good.
It's a +8, so yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do this right.
Make it heads.
Make an insight check as well.
Okay. All right. Insight is 18.
Okay. It falls indeed. You said heads was the version where he accepts the deal.
I accept the deal. Yeah.
So it falls on heads. There is... No, rather, as you consider this outcome, you hear briefly 2 ticks of a clockwork mechanism in the back of your mind. Tick, tick.
Okay.
That's it.
And I flip the coin.
You've done so. This is after you flipped it.
And it's heads.
Yeah, it's heads. But then you do hear that sound. And you can interpret that however you want.
I press the clock.
Okay. Okay. In that case, I'm going to get all of you back in the main chat and go over to the other overlay. So 1 second. Hi, everyone. 1 second.
Hello.
Let me set up everything correctly here before I change you guys over. There we go. Oh, that's not right.
Why did Simon and Nicholas say JJ just made it tougher on themselves?
I don't know. You were so wrong, Milos. Why did you think this was the easiest for JJ?
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
All right. So, JJ, you take the action that you indicated. All of you blink. You're standing in the warehouse in Postizia. The hatch has just opened. None of you remember anything of what's just happened, except for JJ. The party is about to go down the stairs into the cellar. What do you do?
Well, I'll go first. You know that I can.
Stop, Barnack. Just stop.
Jean-Jacques, we're looking for Argyle.
We are looking for Argyle, and he's down there, as are other things. You gotta trust me on this one.
I mean, we heard skittering. Of course, there's things down there.
Yep. Now, the things that are down there are incredibly dangerous, and y'all were very stupid.
More
Black.
dangerous than what we've seen before?
That is not an explanation, JJ.
Yeah, I know it's not. And you have to take into consideration that I'm processing a lot of information right now, and my mind's a bit fizzy, okay? So, just give me a fucking minute to get my bearings straight, and thank all the gods that I'm smarter than y'all. Okay? Jesus fucking Christ. Accepting to go into a fucking coma to talk to fucking spider things. Y'all
What are you
are
talking-
fucking stupid.
What are you talking
Okay.
about? We are
Coma?
just about to
I just-
spider things?
As JJ is raging, you guys all hear skittering of many feet coming up.
I take
The
out
opening.
my bow immediately.
Okay. You watch
Away from
as
the hatch.
emerging from the hatch. Go ahead and move yourselves on the map where you are.
Yeah.
But as you're watching, as you're watching the hatch, you watch not one, not two, but
Oh, no.
3 spider drakes pushing out one after the other.
May I do an action because I'm aware of what? Like, could I prepare a thing?
Well, I mean, you
Before
hear the
they-
skittering, so you
Yes.
can take some action, yes, but that will kick
Yes.
off initiative.
All right.
Oh, okay. So, and are we there? Like, do I stay there, or
Well,
can
you
we
can move. Like, you have time to react about 10 seconds
Okay.
as you start to hear the first
All right.
skitterings.
basically to? Okay, I'll go.
Where are you going? You move first. All right. Just move where you're gonna be.
Yeah, I'll move somewhere where I have line of sight. I'll rush and just get behind the barrel or something. I don't know.
Okay. I'll move next to him.
Okay.
I'll cast flame arrows
Okay.
at level 3,
Very cool.
and I'll use my ability to move 10 feet to the side.
Okay.
1, 2. My bonus action. Wait, I was there. 1, 2. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
I'll get in front of Myra
like that.
beside Turnock if Turnock is going to be there.
Yeah, what's about Turnock?
Yeah, so I'm going to let you guys decide about Turnock. Let me see. Who wants to have control of Turnock here? Anyone particular?
I
can do it,
I
or
guess.
Nicola. Yeah, no, maybe.
I always Geiger, so if you want to do it middle sham, I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Barnack. All right. So Barnack, you have control of Turnock. Go ahead and place him where you would like him to be. And I would like everyone to roll initiative for their tokens.
Yeah, can you just make his token be above the footpad? Just so I can see it.
Done.
Thank you. Then he's there.
All right. Make sure to select your token as you go to roll initiative. Well, let's see how this turns out.
What the fuck did
Rolled
you
my
do?
die and got a 12, but I will roll it so you can edit. We can edit the.
It was a very tough choice. But liars don't like other liars, is what I'll say.
I have no idea what you're.
I don't know. I thought he was trustworthy.
You guys.
May I use my inspiration here?
Yes. It is
I
an
will.
it's a check.
I will.
All right. Is everyone initiative? I have 4 players. No, 5 players initiative. Okay, good. All right. So Jean-Jacques, you cast flame arrow. Flame arrows on Barnack, I believe, right? He gets the flaming arrows. So we'll say that that kicks off the initiative round order. So in this case, I mean you're 8, so it's fine. So you get at the top, and then we go into initiative. So Turnock gets to move first. What does he do?
Okay. Turnock will. So we see these 3 things just emerge out. For us, we have seen them for the
They
first
came
time.
out with incredible speed, and they are in motion towards all of you, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Turnock will stay here,
Okay.
and he will. Let me just see what he has, because I honestly don't know what he has. He will not move up there. He will. No, he'll stay where he was, and he'll prepare an action to slice and dice anyone that gets close
Okay.
if he doesn't have any ranged weapons. So, hand axe, rapier, dagger. No, he doesn't. Yeah. Do you throw hand axes? No. Okay, so no. Yeah, that's it.
Well, you
He'll
can
just-
throw hand axes, but you don't have
Yeah,
to.
but it's not. Yeah, he'll wait with his sword.
Okay. All right. After Turnock, it is Barnack's turn.
Okay. I seeing what's happening. I will just move a bit and immediately shoot at this one twice.
Okay. Go for it.
Now I will use a sharpshooter shot, but before that I will cast Hunter's Mark on it with my
Okay.
bonus action. So I invoke the nature powers on it, and as the Hunter's Mark marks a small target on it, I will shoot with my outbow.
All right. So go ahead. What did you roll?
It is in total
13.
13.
Unfortunately, that does not hit.
Okay. I will shoot again, though.
Okay. So what happens on the first arrow, by the way, so it's more that they have really thick armor, so when it hits, you actually see that they're coated in this, especially in the warehouse, you have better lighting than you did underground, even though you didn't officially see them there anymore. But they are like covered in this sort of sticky slime, and as the arrow hits, it doesn't penetrate the armor, and in fact, it just gets stuck in the slime against the body.
Okay. Okay. I'll shoot again.
All right.
And this is 19.
19 just hits. Go for it.
Just hits. Perfect. That is 19. Wait.
All right.
Just let me check. So that's 10 sharpshooter plus 12 bracers plus 7 piercing. Yeah, that's 19 damage. And
Plus D6.
plus
Plus a
D6 and
D6.
D6 from Hunter's Mark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Roll
plus your
Flame arrows.
yeah,
Use the fucking flame arrows.
I did.
Okay.
That's another 5 fire damage and 5.
Okay, so that is 29
7.
points of damage.
9, yeah.
Okay. All right. So with the second arrow that catches flame in mid-air, it actually manages to get through one of the thicker chitinous plates on its body, but it doesn't give any physical pain reaction. Just kind of staggers a little bit and then continues barreling towards the group.
Okay, and just a second. Increase your, on once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals piercing damage, you can reroll one of the attack damage die. Okay, no, I won't use it now. Okay, I will, though, seeing these 3 things, I will tell Turnok and everyone, I'll just tell them, move back and shoot them. Move back and shoot them! And I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So... Okay, so you move back, and next up is the first of the Drake Spiders. This one is going to rush over here, and it is going to use its Poison Breath in a 30-foot cone, which I will say, based on the diagonal here, does not include Barnack, because I'm pretty sure that with the diagonal it should be... no, it is kind of... It does include Barnack. Sorry, man.
That's okay.
So yeah, all 3 of you, Myra, Tani, and Barnack, please roll a Constitution saving throw, as it just expels poison onto you. And I believe dwarves have an inherent resistance to poison.
Yes.
So keep that in mind.
14 for myself.
14. I see a 7 from Barnack. Oh god. Okay. And Tani, what is your Constitution saving throw?
4.
4. Oh god.
Yeah,
okay,
4.
so you all fail.
Oh boy.
I need to roll some dice here. Apologies. I didn't quite.
Oh wait,
prepare.
no, you take advantage on saving throws against poison.
Oh, okay.
Or you
So
have
roll
resistance
again to
against
see if you get
poison.
the.
Wait, is this against poison? It says
Yeah,
you
it's
gain
against
advantage
poison,
on saving
yes.
throws against poison, not Constitution saving throws.
No, it's
but yeah,
against
yeah.
poison. So any saving
Yeah,
throw you
yeah.
make against poison is affected.
20.
Okay, so you save. Other 2 fail. So save is
Before
half
Kenny rolls
damage.
the damage. I'm sorry I yelled at you and told you were stupid. It seems like I might have been stupid instead. So good luck.
You definitely were stupid. You just had a nice walk away from all of this.
Barnack is still completely perplexed by Jean-Jacques saying that we're stupid and that Argyle is down there.
Okay, those of you that failed the saving throw take 38 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned, which means I believe you
shit.
cannot regain hit points until you are cured.
I drew up unconscious. I have
Same.
19.
You have Orcish endurance.
Oh yeah.
So
Ira doesn't.
So 1.
okay,
And
and you
how
take
much
half.
damage?
So you take 38 becomes 19.
And then half because I'm still resistant to poison.
Oh, are you? Okay, nice. Yeah, then half again, so 19 becomes 9.
9. Okay.
So yeah, Barnack, you watch as Myra just immediately drops, and Tani drops to one knee, and then just barely pushes herself back up on her feet.
Jean-Jacques, what the fuck is this?
That's what you tried to make a deal with.
Failure.
Okay, Myra, so you fail. Not critically, I hope.
No, it was a 2 though.
If I kill Chansey after she finally rejoins one of my sessions, I'm gonna be so sad.
You will
Just
be.
so bad.
Okay.
I'm
Next,
just gonna play the most chaotic ass character ever.
next up comes the following Drake Spider, and actually you watch as it forces itself to cover more ground. It just begins flying, like the wings begin fluttering behind it, and it
great.
just leaps into the air and kind of flies up next to Turnock, and it continues to flutter, hovering slightly above the ground for extra movement speed. And it is going to attack him twice, and it is also going to use its web attack. So that's a +5. That is a 17 to hit against Turnock.
Against Turnock, 17. Just a moment, please. 17 is his armor class.
Okay, so that hits. So Turnock is currently restrained by webbing. As an action, the restrained creature can make a DC 16 strength check, escaping from the webbing on a success. The effect also ends if the webbing is destroyed. Alright. So for its 2 claw attacks, it is going to attack Turnock. For a... Oh, that's 2 times... 24. Twice... Yeah, I rolled double 24 to hit. So I'm guessing that hits.
That hits, yeah.
And that's going to be, on the first one, 6 is 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And the second one is going to be 15 points of damage.
25. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the end of that creature's turn. Tani, you are
Turn
on
out
1
just
HP and
spit
poisoned.
blood.
Yeah. So Tani, you are on 1 HP and poisoned, and you watch, or you hear Myra collapse behind you. You watch Turnock get mauled completely. What do you do?
Okay, I'm on one knee, barely hanging on, and I say, I'm not running away. I just need to recover. And I'm gonna disengage as much as I can, 45 feet.
Okay. So you want to use your action to disengage, or you can also use your bonus action, I think, with the... Or is that not step of the wind thing?
As an action is okay.
Okay. Okay.
45 would be just a sec, over here. So roughly around here. And I have as a second action, I have this wholeness of body.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
guess I'll attempt that.
Okay.
It's-
But if you use your action to disengage, then your action's not available. Right? Because you spend your action to disengage, so you can't.
Don't we have 2?
No,
No.
only 2 attacks.
You have 2 attacks, right? But
Oh.
not 2 actions.
But you can,
I
if you
confuse
use
attacks
bonus
with
action,
actions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, then I'll spend the key point to disengage.
Alright. Yeah, then yeah, so wholeness of body, you regain hit points equal to 3 times your monk level, so that will be 24 in this case. It's pretty good.
looking at where to throw something killer.
Like throw a fireball above my dead body.
Okay. That is Tani's turn as she dashes out of the way of danger and regains some of her strength. Jean-Jacques, what would you like to do?
All right. I will look over my shoulder to Tani, and I'm gonna say, "You are running. You're running for black hats. Run as fast as you can." And then, as I turn back, I will rise up into the air and jump back. As I'm jumping back 10 feet, I'll essentially blow out a gust of air that's also filled with lightning, and as it moves out, it will envelop this area, and I will cast a storm sphere. at
Okay,
level 4.
that's the one that destroys property as well, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, so there's about to be some stuff collapsing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also yell out to Barnek and Turnock, like, "Grab her and let's fucking go!" And I will,
Okay.
all of them have to make, I'll put it here.
Okay.
All of them have to make strength saving throws.
Okay. So, and if they succeed, what is the effect? Just so I know if they do take damage.
If they succeed, they don't take any damage.
Okay. Do you cast it at a higher level? Just curious.
I do not have a higher level.
Oh, okay. Right, 4. My bad.
Yeah,
so I'll
my
start on
save
the
is
right
19.
side. Okay.
Strength
That's
19.
first fail. So the right one fails. The bottom one has a... This is strength saving throw. The bottom one succeeds. And then the one closest to the rest of you also succeeds.
Okay. So
Okay.
the one that failed takes 8 bludgeoning damage,
Yeah.
and the other 2 don't take anything, but the sphere is still considered difficult terrain.
Yes. Plus, as the sphere erupts into being in this location, it immediately knocks out the support beam for that bottom right corner of the warehouse. And as it crackles and begins to just tear things apart, right? Also, the barrel next to Turnok gets smashed to pieces, and essentially the storm sphere begins to pick up all sorts of debris while the upper platform collapses on the bottom and the right one. So I would like you to roll. There's quite a bit of heavy weight on there. I would like you to roll 4d8 for me, Jean-Jacques, for the damage from the environment.
15.
15, okay. Let's see if they make saving throws. Oh no, that's fails on both of them. Okay, so both of them take 15 additional bludgeoning damage. As you watch as just this debris being spread around starts to get embedded in their bodies as they're unable to move because of all this wood collapsing on top of them. So that
Very
is
nice.
15.
And if you allow me, I did the explanation more as a flair and visuals.
Mhm.
I'd like to use my bonus action to target the one closest to Turnok with the secondary effect. So I will roll a spell attack. I'll just roll a firebolt. Well, actually, can I do it here? No. Is there no way to just randomly roll it? I'll just roll a firebolt. It's not a firebolt though,
Okay.
because I don't have. I need to set up a thing for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
So that one takes 4d6 lightning damage as well.
Okay.
So additional 13 points of damage to this one.
Oh, yeah, that's the additional bonus action that you can take.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Very
On
nice.
subsequent turns. So, and then I'll use my movement to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll just go there.
Okay. Okay, very good. After Jean-Jacques is the other spider, which is going to it's going to fly at half speed through this terrain. So that's going to be like it has to free itself as well, which I'm going to consider standing up. So it'll get about 40 feet of movement, flying halved. So it essentially just crashes on top of these barrels here, which is as far as it can get. It can't actually get out of the storm entirely if it wants to attack someone. And it's going to use its claw bite against Turnok. Well, rather it's going to claw and then see where it stands, but let's see. That is a 4 plus 8 is 12, so that doesn't hit. That's a 21 on the second one.
That hits.
So that's going to be 11 points of damage.
Turnok is down.
Okay. Let's see. I need to make a different roll here for a second. Oh. It's going to attack Turnok again with advantage.
Let me see if Turnok has any reactions, because I don't know his sheet, but let me just check for a moment.
Sure.
If he has any reactions. Elegant courtier. Self-control. Whenever you make a charisma... No. Great weapon master. Bonus proficiency. Position of clearly... I don't think so. No. He has damage resistance to cold damage. That's
Okay.
it.
So I rolled a 1 and a 10 on the advantaged attack roll, which makes it an 18 to hit.
That hits.
So Turnok immediately fails 2 death saving throws. And you guys watch, Tani, you've just run. Jean-Jacques, you've been rushing towards the door, but you both look back for a moment, hearing these horrible crunching sounds as one of these massive spider drakes just digs its claws into Turnok, and essentially just begins to flail him around on the ground. First attack missed, second attack hit, and then the bite. Oh wait, yeah, the bite was the additional. Okay, you need to...
I know.
Well, no. I'm going to call the session here.
Oh my god.
Because it's Turnok's turn, and I will not have anyone else roll his potential final death saving throw.
Oh. I mean, I get it, but oh no.
I know, but we'll pick up next week with this combat and see what you guys make of it. Alright, guys.
Nicola, or rather JJ, I might shoot you.
Oh, you don't know what he did yet.
I don't know what he did.
Oh, you fucked it up for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I thought I was
so
being the good
bad.
guy. Like you got a choice for the party, but
So you made a choice for the... Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, though. That's okay. I did that... Well, Core did that last time. Next time, Barnack will make the choice for the party and fall unconscious again.
well, I did say, whatever happens, it's y'all's fault, because I didn't want to do this in the first place. So, fuck me, man.
So how are you guys doing? How are you feeling?
No.
Oh man.
Well, it's Barnack's turn after this, so he, in his mind, needs to save 2 people in a single turn.
yeah.
And also yell at Jean-Jacques saying, "Don't you two people are dead almost? Come back here."
Tany's like, what did we do? Why is JJ so mad? But also,
Well,
I trust that he did what was
I
best.
trust him. No, I trust him.
Yeah,
I completely
absolutely.
trust him. When he said, "Trust me on this," Barnack trusts him.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I trust him.
I don't know if I trust me anymore. I thought I was doing a good thing.
Well, I mean,
But-
maybe it was, but all choices have consequences, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get out. So,
Yeah.
Silver linings, yeah. If you get out and we don't, I will climb a window and shoot you from 600 feet away, even if you're invisible. I'll just shoot at random people until I hit you as well.
Like, Barnack's parting
man.
gift to the world is just a street full of dead people.
it was such a tough choice, guys. It was such a tough choice. And
Look-
I thought I was doing what was
By
good.
the way, no blame at all. I want to compliment all of you, and also thank you for putting up with me in this rather different
Awesome.
session structure than usual. But I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, because it was a ton of fun
I did.
to get some, sort of one-on-one time, but still do it together.
Now, because we don't remember any, I really want to go back and watch the episode.
Yeah, now we actually can watch everything apart from JJ's.
No, I'm
Yeah.
watching Jay.
Honestly, the thing is, I was going to say you should feel free to watch it anyway, because the point wasn't to prevent you from ever knowing. The point was more just in this moment, while you are facing your own situation, to choose. But I am also still interested in the choices that you guys make. So before you watch the episode, please send me your character's final choice in Discord.
Do I need to also do it? Because I think I...
Just send it just to, to have
that's
it
it.
written.
Was I the only one that made the choice, really?
Fully, but even you kind of just forced the choice outright.
Right.
They gave everyone some time to think, so... there
Oh,
was-
this is what you call time to think. Yeah, I'm thinking right now about that choice while not remembering and looking at my friends dying.
I would explain, but that would be spoilers, so... in any
man.
case, yeah, well done, you guys. I had a ton of fun, so... I feel bad for Bruno having to come back to this, but I also need to. I will do this session with him separately, just the one-on-one. So unfortunately, that won't be streamed. I'll try to record it so that we can put it on YouTube. But yeah, we'll see.
I
what
would
comes
ask,
of it
because
next
I
week.
was playing as his character, I would ask if he would do something differently, just to tell us or something, because I honestly, he didn't have anything, like, at least I didn't see anything from a quick glance, so...
Yeah, we can go over it and see if there would be a slight adjustment.
But I
or
don't think
whatever.
he even got a chance to do anything, really.
No, not really. It was more of a being
It all
overrun.
happened very fast.
Well, I forgot, he could have actually struck the first one when it approached him immediately, because he held an action.
Oh yeah. So we can roll the extra damage if that is the way that he indeed would have approached the situation. But I'll clear that up with him in the coming weeks. So don't worry about that, and don't feel bad about choices that you made.
And hopefully he doesn't see the episode before going.
No,
I'll
warn him. I'll warn him. But yeah, thank you guys so much for playing. I'm gonna let you guys stew on this for a bit, so I suggest, but if you guys have questions for me or things that you want me to clarify now, please feel free to ask.
What the fuck?
I have a question for another player.
Okay.
But I don't think I should ask him here, because it might be rude.
Just do it.
No, I'm kidding. I was going to just...
Nicholas,
ask
what
anything.
the fuck?
Didn't ask it. I'm just wondering, what the fuck did you all do? Because
Okay, you know Barnack. You know that he didn't ask proper questions, and you know that he didn't check for any lies.
you know what the word... Yeah, I didn't too either, because it's not fun. The insight check that I rolled was for a specific reason. It wasn't because I asked Kevin whether somebody was lying or not. It was for a different reason. But, like, you know what the most fucked up thing about this is? Is that JJ made a choice believing that he was doing the right thing. Like, trying to go with what he knows to be the best choice and making the right call. And now 2 people are almost dead. Immediately after. So... this is just like a series of events that's telling JJ, just don't be good, man. Just be what you need to be. Don't be good. That's worthless. People just die when you do that. And it's happening. Every time.
It's the second time.
It's incredible.
Poor JJ.
Yeah.
I think whatever happens, we all need to give JJ a hug after this.
No hug.
Yeah. Oh, those scenes, I'm really proud of you, Kevin. That was amazing. That was just, you immediately took me back took me back as if I lived that life. Took me to that place.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could see everything, and it was just,
absolutely.
you picked such amazing moments.
Thank you.
From JJ's life. That was amazing. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was really excited about it, because it's like I get to touch on some things and hopefully make you think, but without, deciding it for you. So, yeah, I was really happy to kind of dive into them. And, just to give it away, but I prepped this whole session today, so this was
nice.
Yeah, pretty
Solid
proud of
flex.
myself. Yeah.
As you said before we started, that kind of a week.
Yeah, it was that kind of week, but you guys made it all better, so I can only say how much I appreciate you guys, and thank you for playing this with me. It's been a pretty big week in terms of D&D, because I don't know if any of you got the chance to watch Ruin Keep last week, but I may have impersonated a god there, so, and now I'm doing it here, so there's a theme going on.
You're doing what here? Can you repeat the exact phrasing you said? Impersonating a god? Okay.
Maybe. Well, I mean, kind of, because you guys
Just
seem to
kidding.
still be under the impression of it being a god, so. But yeah, no, this was super amazing and a perfect end to the D&D part of this week anyway. So I'm excited to see what comes up next week. I'm sure it will be interesting, and hopefully Bruno can join us then to say goodbye to his character, I suppose.
He gets to roll with his character.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
If Turnip didn't like Jean-Jacques before, now it's not going to be any better.
Yeah. But it's also the whole problem is providing a choice to one character that unanimously goes for the whole group, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you guys.
You're a bastard. Boils down to that, pretty much.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But I appreciate all of you guys getting into it so much and letting everyone play it out their own way. We actually, if Turnock had been here, we would have had exactly half an hour for everyone's individual part, and it would have been the whole session. So, that was interesting. Would have been funny to end on the rewind, but
yeah.
This might just be one of the best episodes ever. And I always think that, like, oh, this is a great episode. And then you surpass that. And
well, thank you so much.
What did you do to
It's a weird
rewind time?
gift he has.
Why?
Anyway.
Good job, Kevin. Thank you for the next 7 days of thinking about how I killed Bruno's character almost, and how Nicola killed Bruno's character. Why? Because it's his choice.
I mean, let's be honest. I killed Bruno's character, if it happens. So you can blame me, and I will say, haha.
I'm gonna blame you regardless of if any character dies.
I cannot do that.
Yeah,
you've
done this to Chansey and I many times over, so we reserve the right to be properly mad and to blame you.
Yeah, I mean, Myra could very well die as well, so.
Yeah.
After 3.5 hours of being in our group.
I know.
Just saying. 3.5 hours of being here.
I think it's close to 4 hours at this point.
Yeah, that's bad.
Which is long. No, it's not longer than. Yeah, no, you were technically in the group longer in the first campaign before you almost died, even though it was the first session that time.
That's true, you did it twice to her.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw a burr hag at a group of level 4 characters. It's not a problem. It's perfectly normal when she does 67 points of cold damage in a cone to the whole party when they have like 20 health.
Yeah.
In my defense, you weren't supposed to attack, but
I didn't want to attack.
And that was also because of me, because Magnus was the one that got cursed by the gold.
Yep. And you chose to attack.
We're the worst friends ever, Kevin. The two of us are just the worst friends ever.
I mean, I can't blame you for the other time Echo almost died. That was Raven's fault.
Oh, yeah. Which one? Like, I feel like there were multiple.
The Banshee.
Oh, yeah, the Banshee. Right.
Don't mention anything, Bran. Let Echo do the talking.
If we could just go back in time and record some of those sessions and then show you guys some of the choices that were made in that session that were just pure idiocy, that would have been amazing.
Barnack's plan looked like genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nothing tops Quarantani depantsing Barnack. That will forever, I feel like. Because I don't believe that you can exceed that level of just pure
that was a special time. Yeah,
that was a special time. That was a jewel,
especially involving the giant mastiff.
For no reason at all.
Their mission: get Barnack into an alleyway. Their answer: summon a giant mastiff and pay a child to pretend to be his son.
Instead of asking normally, "Hey Barnack, come here, please. We found something."
It was so perfect that it made a potential patron reconsider you guys altogether. Like he was like, okay, I have these two people under my control, but it's going so poorly. I just need to talk to them directly because this isn't working.
I chose the wrong Asher cards.
Alright, you guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you everybody for watching. Let me check if there's somebody to raid really quickly. But we appreciate all of you. We will be back next week on Sunday again, all of you. And in the meantime, I hope that you guys are gonna show up on the Ruined Keep on Tuesday, of course. That's 8 p.m. GMT, or BST now, 9 p.m. CEST, or 2 p.m. EST. For an amazing stream that you should watch regardless of whether I'm in it, because Simon and the gang are brilliant. So please show up then, and we'll see you next week. Otherwise, remember to follow, subscribe, do all the cool things, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Also no raid, because there's nothing.